Hello po, good afternoon, Miss Ulit.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. Are we going to start now?
Exactly 1:30. Bale, I'm Luis po, the Social Marketing Officer, one of the information officers here in DSWD. So I will be the host for this afternoon's Talakayan sa Onse episode. So this afternoon po, ay ano po bang nickname nyo, ma'am? Para po.
V.
D. Okay, Miss V. So,
Who would be our participants for this?
actually po, we do not have participants. So, ito pong ating conversation, ating interview will be aired sa Facebook page ni DSWD Region 11. Live. Apo, yes. So parang mukha po siyang parang live show. Ayan, or virtual na talk show, parang ganun po yung mangyayari. So we will be reading also questions from our viewers. I will ask you rin po mga guide questions. Basically po about programs of DOH with regards to mental health awareness, programs nyo po.
Anything that comes and goes, wala tayong
Opo, yes po. Wala po talaga tayong parang So definitely po, my questions will be coming from po sa inyo. May presentation po ba kayo?
Yeah, I did prepare some kind of presentation.
Sige po, ma'am. So yun na po, wala naman pong pressure. It will be not formal naman. So parang lang po, no? Parang lang, casual interview. Dapat nag-start.
Sige.
At exactly 1:30 po. So bale, supposedly dalawa po kayong resource persons. One is from the Public Attorney's Office, but po kasi due to time constraints hindi po siya makasabay. So probably maximum of 1 hour lang po yung show natin. But if we can kumbaga discuss all matters naman po na needed to be discussed, then we can shorten naman the duration of the show. Ayan po. So bali parang tayo lang po nag-uusap. I will ask you some questions. Then sagot lang din po kayo. We'll also read questions from Facebook. Ayan po. So that our viewers can also participate if they have questions. Ayan. So ganun lang naman po, ma'am. Ayan. Sige po, ma'am. Pwede po muna kayo mag-relax kaunti. And then be back lang po at 1:25. Ayan pa. Parang on standby na tayo by 1:25.
Okay.
Thank you, Ma'am V. See you later po. Sis, mag-start na ta, sis.
Davao, rihiyon nga daghang mapasigarbo, kultura, tradisyon ug labi ng mga tawo. Managlahi man ang tinuuhan ug atong kagikan, hiusa ang kasing-kasing sa tawhan. Davao, adunay kaambitan sa gugma, tiunay nga pag-alagad kaninyo anaa, pangamuyo ug mga damgo, ubaning departamento, DSWD Onse, serbisyong may malasakit at totoo. Kasing-kasing nga Davaoenyo, mabati ning liriko, subay sa bitik ning ritmo, kanunay ngandam magserbisyo. Kasing-kasing nga Davaoenyo, adunay gugma ang serbisyo, patinod anon mangisugon ug adunay pasyon. Kasing-kasing sa Davaoenyo. Davao, sakop niyang 5 ka probinsya, puhong nga ni sa balay ni Haring Apo, paningkamot nga mulungtad, taas abot sa langit ni Haring Agila sa paglupad. Alam sa atong tanan nga katawhan, tribuhanon, Muslim ug mga Kristiyano, babae, lalaki, LGBT, bata, tigulang ug ubang nihikawan, pag-alagad nila way pili, way undang. Kasing-kasing nga Davaoenyo, dinhi sa DSWD Onse, dali ang paglaom o kaayo, tinuuray nga serbisyo. Kasing-kasing nga Davaoenyo, adunay gugma ang serbisyo, matinod anon magisugon ug adunay pasyon. Kasing-kasing sa Davaoenyo, serbisyo may malasakit at totoo, pagprotekta sa tawhanong katungo. pagsibol, pagbangon, bayanihan, kabaguhan, kasing-kasing nga Dabawenyo, mapatinining liriko, subay sa bitik ning ritmo, kanunay andam, magserbisyo. Kasing-kasing nga Dabawenyo, mapatinining liriko, subay sa bitik ning ritmo, kanunay andam, magserbisyo. Kasing-kasing nga Dabawenyo, at tunay gugmang serbisyo, matinot anon mangisugon ug at tunay pasyon. Kasing-kasing sa Dabawenyo.
Kami ang Dabawenyo!
Maayong hapon Davao Region, maayong hapon sa atong social media world. Mag-uban-uban na pud kita sa usa ka episode sa DSWD Talakayan sa Onse, the International Day of Family Special. So maayong hapon sa tanan, maayong hapon sa akong mga kaubanan dinhi sa DSWD Onse, maayong hapon sa ato ang mga viewers na nagalantaw sa ato ang Facebook Live, ug maayong hapon pud sa ato ang mga Dabawenyos, kapwa Dabawenyos nga excited o ganahan kaayo og interesado nga mulantaw sa ato ang programa karong hapuna. Ayan, so karong hapuna no aduna tay topiko o aduna tay mahisgutan kabahin gyapon sa ato ang pagsaulog sa ato ang 2022 the International Day of Families. And of course no, ato agyud i-showcase og ato agyud tagaag importansya of course no. Dili wala nilain pa kundi ang pamilyang Pilipino. So bago ang tanan no, ako ang ginakumusta ang ato ang mga Facebook Live viewers. No, keep your screens dinhi sa ato ang programa karong hapuna para kamo makat-on pod og makapamalandong kay aduna pod tay makuyaw nga bisita karong hapuna na makatabang gyud no kabahin sa ato ang mga kabahin sa hisgutanan nga mental health. So unsa maning mental health no? Unsa man ni paraas o unsa man ni siya unsa ang kinsa ang nagaagi og kaning mga mental health na problems or kaning mga disorders. So kanina mga pangutana atuan ni silang matagaan og tubag later on no pag atuan na nakaistorya ang ato ang resource person. So I guess no pwede na nato siya ipaila-ila. Mamalihog ko ma'am na kindly turn on your camera and your microphone po. So dili na to padugayon. Atong kaisa-isang resource person karong hapuna si Miss Virginia Florendo ulit. Usa siya ka registered psychologist. Iya gi-earn ang iyahang Bachelor of Arts in Psychology nga degree sa University of Southern Mindanao sa Kabakan sa North Cotabato. Og ni-graduate siya, migraduate siya isip usa ka cum laude. Of course, aduna pud siya Masters of Science in Psychology gumikan sa Ateneo de Davao University. And of course, no, naapod siya PhD in Clinical Psychology gikan gyapon sa Ateneo de Davao University. So ato ang i-welcome ang ato ang resource person karong hapuna, Miss Virginia Florendo ulit or Miss V. Maayong hapon, ma'am.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. Hello, everyone.
Maayong hapon. Ma'am V, ma'am, kumusta ma'am? Ug dagan kaayong salamat sa pagdawat sa ato ang imbitasyon nga mogawa sa ato ang programa.
Welcome po. Happy to serve.
Ayan, yes ma'am no. So kaning ato ang it's actually my first time ma'am no nga mag-RP og isa lang ka o mag-guest og isa lang ka resource person. So na-excite gid ko ma'am no kay masking duha ra ta ka book no kay ubay-ubay gyud atong masturyahan, especially nga interactive pud ang ato ang show no. So makapangutana pud ang ato ang mga Facebook live viewers no kabahin sa ilang mga questions or opinions kabahin sa ato ang topiko or ato ang panagisgutan karong hapuna kabahin sa mental health in relation gyapon sa ato ang pagsaulog or celebration sa ato ang 2022 International Day of Families. Ayan no, so gitanggal gyud ni ma'am iyang mask no makita gyud ang paanyag.
Wala na yung ka-meeting ko eh.
Ayan. Ayan. So ano man po si ma'am lang man po isa ko sa kwarto, ako lang po isa sa kwarto no. So it's safe po no na magtanggal ta og mask. But for kaning mga wala no na kaning ato ang mga viewers no, make sure lang po na the pandemic is still ongoing. No, so let's be careful gyapon no. Let's still follow the minimum health protocols. Ayan. But for the show's sake, magpakita mig mga dagway ni Miss V. Ayan. So Miss V, are you ready, ma'am? Sa ato ang topic no? Panaisgutan topic nga mental health.
Okay. Sir Luis,
Yes, ma'am.
am I going to make a presentation because am I going to make the presentation now, or I'm going to just be answering your questions?
Oh, sige ma'am. We would prefer if you could present something first, and then from there we could proceed with the interview.
Okay, because that's what I'm used to, no?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
I
Alright,
really
go ahead,
didn't. Hindi ko kasi akalain na you will be doing the this kind of interview thing. But anyway, can I start sharing now?
Yes, ma'am. Please do.
Host disabled participant screen sharing. So what will I do?
Oh, all right. All right. Ano na lang po, ma'am. Pwede na po. So kindly try again po, ma'am.
Hindi pa rin po.
Ito din siya. Let me check po, ha. Sige.
Sa ating lahat ng makikinig, magandang hapon po.
Ayan, mayong hapon sa tanan. No, so to our Facebook viewers, no, kindly message us in yung locations on where you're watching from. Ayan, ma'am. Kindly try again po, ma'am. Kindly try to present po your presentation. Thank you.
Still the same. So while I'm waiting
still the
for
same.
that, no,
Sige, sige.
just giving you an idea. So I'm going to talk about what is mental health. No, most of the time kasi, what is mental health, and then you had a specific request to talk about how do we handle our issues in time management with regards to time we spend in social media. Yeah. So tingnan natin, no?
Sige po,
Ay,
ma'am.
salamat.
Ayan. All right, go ahead.
Ayan. So,
Ayan.
sana nakikita niya. Wait. So, that is where I serve, no? So, I work at the DOH Drug Abuse Treatment and Rehabilitation Center. We're located here at Malagos, Davao City. I just would like to inform everyone that our government, no, has this kind of service to our Filipino people. Okay? So, here, we help people with problems in drug addiction to recover and then be treated, and hopefully when they get better for 6 months or more, no, they will be ready to be integrated in the community at maging isang produktibong citizen, no, ng Pilipinas. Okay. Now, ayan, family, no? So I just would like to inform everyone that families sa ating constitution, our government gives so much importance sa family. Kaya wag nating gawing biro ang mag-start ng family. So ibig sabihin, wag nating gawing biro ang uyab-uyab, ang pag-aasawa, ang pakikipag-sex, no? Wag nating gawing biro o laro ang mga ganitong bagay, because it will eventually lead you, no, to have children, no, yung panliligaw na behavior, no, mag-ikasal man o hindi, pag nag-sex, no, pwedeng mabuntis, and it you will have children or child, and then whether you like it or not, okay, you have to raise that kid. So the question is, anong mangyayari kung hindi kayo handa? Alam nyo ba na ang pagkakaroon ng ang pagiging magulang, ang isang pinakamahalagang obligasyon ng isang Pilipino? Ulitin ko ang pagiging isang magulang, ang isa sa pinakamahalagang obligasyon ng isang Pilipino. Okay? Huwag nating i-underscore yan. So kung siseryosohin mo yan, hindi ka basta-basta makikipag-sex lang. Dahil alam mo na pag nakipag-sex ka, pwede kang magkaanak, pwede kang makabuo ng isang bata. At yan ay isang mahalagang obligasyon na kailangan mong gampanan. Dahil pag yan ay hindi mo nagampanan ng maayos, it will have a huge, serious impact to our country. Kaya huwag nating maliitin ang pagiging magulang. No? Malaking impact yan. Bibigyan ko kayo ng example. Ngayon pa lang Sige. If you're going to listen to the narratives or stories of people who had addiction, no? Pakinggan mo ang stories nila. May common Ano makikita mong common? Family problems. Di ba? Merong hindi magandang relasyon sa mga magulang, may mga magulang na palaging nag-aaway, may mga magulang na hindi kayang magbigay ng tamang sustento, hindi maibigay ang tamang tawag nito, the right of the children for good education, no? So makikita mo maraming kakulangan, no, sa buhay ng isang bata. At kung titingnan mo, yung karamihan sa kakulangan na yon ay nanggagaling sa kakulangan ng pagiging isang magulang. Meron silang magulang na hindi pa handa maging magulang. Okay? Tapos, ayan, may isang anak, may maraming anak. So, anong nangyari sa mga anak? Napabayaan. At dahil napabayaan, ayun, no? Nagkaroon ng tukso sa addiction, no? Nagkaroon ng tukso sa maagang pagbubuntis. Nagkaroon ng tukso na maging standby. Gumawa ng kriminalidad. Okay? Yung iba naman, kahit sabihin natin na may pera o mayaman, pero dahil may mga magulang na may mga problemang personal sa buhay mag-asawa, palaging nag-aaway kahit may pera na okay. Dahil may mga emotional burdens pa yan, no? Okay? Maaring merong depression or anxiety ang mga magulang, no? May poor communication skills ang mga magulang, no? And it causes dysfunctionality in the family. Sino ngayon ang maapektuhan? Ang mga anak. At ito ngayon, no, magiging vulnerable ang mga anak uli sa tukso ng ating society. At kasama sa tukso na yan, ang internet use. Because if I remember it right, I think more than 10 years ago, I attended a international convention at Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. That was 10 years ago. It was an international convention of psychiatrists in Saudi. I was there, and we started talking about internet addiction. Okay? And during that time, there is already a serious consideration to really make this as official mental disorder na. So sa ngayon, wala pa naman siya sa DSM-5 talaga, no? Yung libro ng mga mental disorders. No? But then, we can already see, no, symptoms or serious behaviors that are related to, no, internet addiction. Maraming forms kasi ng internet addiction. So yung tanong, bakit ba yun nangyayari? Okay. Anong nangyayari? Bakit nagkaroon ng ganong klaseng addiction? Oh. Okay. Babalikan ko ulit. Ang pagiging magulang, malaki ang role mo sa pag-develop ng addiction ng isang bata. Okay? You've got a role there. So ang tawag natin dyan is your parenting behavior. Okay? So, ito yung tanong ko. Tayo bang mga Pilipino, no? Pag kanang mag-uyab ta, kung sa atong purpose, kanang magpakasal ta, kung sa atong purpose, kung mag-iyot, kay that's the term, no? I'm sorry, I really have to use, no, what that term, no? So, we see it as a behavior, iyot, sex. When you do that, do you realize that there is that possibility that you're going to create another human being? And that's a huge responsibility. Are you ready? And take note na, ang madalas kasi natin iniisip, ang readiness is pera-pera. Akala natin na pag may pera, ready na maging magulang. No. Kasi sa totoo lang, ang bata, padidihin mo ng lanot, mabuhay. Ang bata, bigyan mo ng kahit anong klaseng bigas, kahit walang ulam, kahit tubig na may asid, mabuhay. Pero ito yung tanong. What quality of life are they going to live sa mundong ito? Okay. Sabihin natin, may mga pobre. Pag sabi natin pobre, ito yung may low economic income. Pero, ang mga anak nila, kabalumaning kamot. Maanak nila magagalang. Ang mga anak nila malipayon. No? Ang mga anak nila, kanamaning kamot yun ng eskwela. Nairespeto. Pero kung tanawan nimo, ang ilahang social economic income, mababa. Yung tinatawag nila na pobre. Pero masaya ang pamilya nila. May hirap, pero masaya, naningkamot, nga magmaayo ilang kinabuhi. Kay nga no? Gano'n ka, no? Probably, this kind of parents no values what we call mental health. Okay? They value that. Ano ba yung mental health na yan? Pero meron din mga magulang. Yung iba pa nga, milyonaryo. Pero tingnan mo, ang mga anak, may depression, anxiety, may addiction, involved sa different criminality, corruption. Ang iba pa nga, nagpapakamatay. Cum laude na yan, ha? Magna cum laude na yan, ha? Nag-aaral na yan sa isang prestigyosong paaralan. Why? Is this not enough for us to see that being parents is not just about money? It's about giving our children, raising our children with healthy mental health. At yan ay holistic, hindi lang tungkol sa pera. Kasi why am I putting much emphasis to this? Dahil minsan ang palagi nating naririnig sa mga magulang ngayon ganito, Dong, pag eskwela dong ha, kay mahal ang bugas. You rarely hear parents would say, Dong, pag maningkamot magmaayong tao dong ha, kay para ang imuhang anak pohon magmaayong tao pod. So that maayong tao is translated actually to mental health. Okay. So you see, hindi biro maging isang magulang. Di ba, no? So kung gusto natin ng isang Pilipinas na may mga kabataan na maningkamot, di ba? Ibig sabihin masipag mag-aral, may interest mag-aral, kahit may mga tukso pa dyan sa paligid, kabalo sila mo ingon og dili, di ko anak, kay dili na maayo sa kuha. O di ba? Kung halimbawang tumikim man o nadapa man, mo ingon nga, ay, mali ko, no? Ang tawag natin dyan, self-correction, dili taas og garbo. No? Kabalo ba mo kanang mga tao nga taas og garbo? Sus, dako kay nagproblema. No? Because they don't know how to correct themselves. Sila'y permanenteng tama. So ang tao nga, dili ka ba lumaminaw? O sige, guna-una nga siya permanenteng tama, lisod na siya mo grow nga tao. Okay? So, this is again an issue of mental health. And, sino ang magtuturo niyan sa mga magulang? Sino ang tutulong sa mga bata para magkaroon sila at lumaki sila na merong isang healthy state of mental health? Sino pa ba? Kundi ang mga magulang. Okay, so I keep saying about mental health. So I'm going to give you a definition of mental health. No? Okay lang ba, sir? Tutuloy ko? Okay, so this is how we see, minsan sasabihin ng iba, hindi naman uso yung mental health ngayon, kaya di man na makaon. No? Di man na makaon ng mental health. Tinood bitaw, no? Pero, kung naa kay maayong mental health, dili lisod sa imuha mangitag kwarta kay para daghan progresibo ang imong kinabuhi. So, imuha instrumento ang maayong panghuna-huna, no? Para imong kinabuhi magmaayo pod. Okay. Actually, sir, I'm not Bisaya, no? So, pasensya na kayo if I'm speaking in Bisaya. I am assuming that the people that are listening to us are in Bisaya. So, pasensya na kayo sa aking trying hard Bisaya. But anyway, so here is the definition of mental health according to the World Health Organization, no? So, ayan. So, ang sabi dito, it's that mental health is a state of well-being in which we realize our own abilities, can cope with normal stresses of life, we can work productively, and we're able to contribute to our community. So it's not just about mental disorders. It's not just about suicide, depression, anxiety, or babuang. Okay? Kay ang notion magagod nato sa mental health kay buang, so mali na. Okay? Mali kayo na. When we say mental health, we're talking about sa kakayahan mo. Sa kakayahan mo na gamitin ang iyong pag-isip upang yung galing mo, kanang imong pagkamaayo, maggamit nimo para sa ikaayo sa imuhang kinabuhi og laing tao. Sample. Pinakasimple nga sample, ha? Tingnan nato si Maria. Si Maria bright. Okay? Valedictorian. Pero, every morning, nandun siya sa kapitbahay niya, nagachismis. Nauubos ang 8 hours ng isang araw niya ng kachichismis. Ang chismis, pag sinimulan mo, madagdagan yan. Nauubos yung 8 hours ng isang linggo niya ng kakadefend ng sarili niya sa Facebook kasi may mga chismis, di ba? Sa kakachismis pa, sa paninira ng iba, di ba? So nauubos yung oras niya sa chismis. Pero valedictorian niya. Gets niya yung point ko dito? Oo, magaling ka. Pero ginagamit mo ba yung galing mo para umangat ang buhay mo? Ginagamit mo ba yung galing mo para sa ganon ang tao sa kapaligiran mo matulungan mo? O nagagamit mo ang galing mo sa paraan na mali at ikasisira mo? O, di ba? Get niyo yung point? So people with good state, positive state of mental health, they use their intelligence so that they can be productive citizens. Okay? Sa ating mga kabataan, no, tingnan nyo. Marami tayong matatalino pero walang initiative. Do you agree, Sir Luis? Yeah? Okay? Ibig sabihin matatalino. Pero kahit nandyan na ang basurahan sa harapan nila, hindi yan nila pulutin hanggang hindi inuutusan. That's a basic example of a mental health manifestation. Kasi, kung maganda ang state ng mental health mo at magulo ang paligid mo, okay? Hindi ka magiging komportable dyan. Hindi mo kailangan utusan. Lilinisin mo yan because you know it's not good for me. Oh, di ba? Kung maganda ang mental health mo, kung positibo ang mental health mo, alam mo, may sasabihin sana akong tao, buti hindi ka Pinoy. You know, politiko pa naman, baka mabash tayo, no? Pero ito yung naging basis ko in choosing my president yung sa mental health na issue. Yun ba? When you talk about people, sinisiraan mo ba sila? O meron kang kakayahan na kahit anong paninira sa'yo, you remain objective? Isa kasi yan sa mga characteristic of people with positive mental health. Kahit anong ibato sa kanila, they can remain objective. Okay? Kahit minsan ka nang nasuko na ka, nasaktan ka na, no? You can still stand and remain objective. Mahirap yun. And people with positive mental health can remain productive, can be resilient despite of challenges. I know it's difficult, but yun yung ikinaganda kung natuturuan natin ang ating mga anak ng positibong mental health. No? So, ayan. So, ito pa, no? This one, try to look at this. I don't know if you, this is according to the definition of the, wait lang, ha? This is the definition of the APA, no? The American Psychiatric Association. Ang ganda ng definition nila ng mental health, okay? A state of mind, panghuna-huna, no? Characterized na makita nimo kung natin maayong panghuna-huna, you can see, no? There is good emotional well-being, no? Positive emotional well-being. Good behavioral adjustment. Ibig sabihin, kaya mong mag-adjust. Okay? Hindi ka entitled. Kasi yung mga tao entitled, dapat kayo ang mag-adjust sa akin. Pag entitled ka. Dili ako ang mo-adjust sa imuha. Ikaw ang mo-adjust sa kuha. But if you have a positive state of mind, you can make, appropriate adjustment. Okay? You have relative freedom from anxiety and disabling symptoms. At ito yung pinakamahalaga. You have the capacity to establish constructive relationships and cope with ordinary demands of life. So ito yung tanong ko, kamusta naman ang iyong relasyon sa iyong kasamahan sa work? Sa iyong kapitbahay, sa iyong kapatid? Okay? Baka dikit ka ng dikit sa mga taong toxic at natotoxic ka na rin. Baka naman nagsigi ka diha o ka ng dumot, nasakitan na di ka, di baka ka-istorya ka nasakitan ka, kaya nagsige ka dumot, gusto na ka magpakamatay, tungkol kay nagdumot ka. So, ibig sabihin, you have problems in establishing constructive relationships. And it says here clearly that if you have a positive state of mental health, yung isang tao may kakayahan na mag-establish ng constructive relationship. Okay? So, ito yung makikita mo, no? If you have a positive mental health, you are productive in your activities at school, at work, okay? You have healthy relationships, at lagi itong sinasabi, no? Kanang mga tao nga daghang kabit, kanang ilang technical term kabit, yung maraming kabit na you go from one relationship for sex to another relationship for sex, for another relationship for sex. Ito yung palagi kong sinasabi, no? Go get help. Go get help. Because it could be a manifestation that you have problems in mental health. You have problems with adjustment. You have issues in emotional well-being. Ngayon tabang. Okay, go to a psychologist so that you will be able to figure out nganong inani ko, nganong di ko makontentong isa, nganong bago lang kong nakipag-sex, mangita na pud ko. 1 month pa lang, mangita na pud ko lain, no? So there are males who are like that. So if you are like this, no, ug naa kay pamilya, naa magoy tendency nga madaot ang pamilya, no, it can cause dysfunctional relationship in the family. Okay? Aside from the fact, no, kung naanata sa low economic income na ta, no, magka-problema gihapon ta, so magpatong-patong na atong stress na, no, mas mudako ang atong problema, and most likely kung mapabayaan siya, it can worsen and lead to a mental health crisis. Not just you, but also members in the family. Okay? So ito po, sa mga misis dyan, sa mga nanay dyan na nakikinig, alam ko po masakit kapag yung ating partner, no, mayroong iba. Okay? Pero imbis awayin po natin, alamin natin ano ba ang nangyayari sa kanya. O, wag ganon ha, wag ganon ang turo. Pag ganon ang turo mo, yung ibang daliri mo nakaturo sa'yo. So, ibig sabihin, kahit masakit, ipinakasalan mo man yan, for better or for worse, till death do us part. So, ibig sabihin, imuha yun ang istorya mo, mag-istorya mo, okay, dili labayan og kaldero, tapos makita pa sa mga bata, dili mo ingon og mga yawa-yawa, kay makita pa na sa mga bata, dakuin mo ng problema, no? Talk about it, go get some help. Okay? If you know psychologists, mental health professionals, no? There are priests, there are pastors with training in mental health, okay? Go, get some help, get some counseling, okay? Figure this out, okay? Basig na problema sa communication, okay? Basig dili lang kwarta ang problema. Kaya ang kwarta, mapangita, okay? Pero tanawa, where lies the problem? Probably in your communication. Okay? Probably in your expression of affection. Okay man pakinggan yung pagmamahal. Okay man yan, no? Pero ang katotohanan kasi ng buhay, pinanganak tayo at meron tayong need to be loved and to love. Okay? At isa yon sa mga ingredients ng pagkakaroon ng isang maayos na pagsasama. Yung maipakita mo, maipadama mo, na mahal mo. Okay? May reciprocity yon. Hindi yung, ito, budget, 10,000 o 5,000. O, bahala na kayo dyan ha, talikod ka na. Hindi ko kayang magsalita ng pera na I love you. Hindi ko kaya ng pera magpakita ng pagmamalasakit. Kayang bumili ng pera, ng pagkain, pero hindi kayang ibili yung pera ng pagmamahal. So once you get into a relationship, it's part of the responsibility. Okay? So I hope you get my point. That when you start a family, it's not just about money. It's about your mental health maturation also. You have to check the status of your mental health. Am I ready, no, to be a parent? Okay? Now, kung naanay mga parents diha, o mayroong kahala, murag tama, no, nagsigir man kong syagit sa kong anak. Hala, nagsigir man kong yawa sa kong bana, kung magmali, hala, maka-worsen di ay ito, makadaot pa di ay na. No? So good thing, no? If you know how to accept imong mistakes. Because according to my British professors, no, when I studied before in Kuala Lumpur, no, isa sa mga bagay na natutunan ko is, sabi nila, if you're going to use your intelligence, you become smart. Because there are intelligent people who are stupid. Okay, but if you use your intelligence to be productive, you become smart. And if you are smart, you have the capacity for self-correction. Ano ibig sabihin po niyan? Kabalo ka mo dawat sa imong mali. Okay? Isa yan sa mga requirement. Kung gusto mong matuto o magkaroon ng isang positibong mental health, requirement yan. Dapat kabalo ka mudawat sa imuhang mali. Kabalo ka kung unsa imong mali. O ang taas o garbo kanang di gyud dawat man ako di tama, no? Isa yan sa mga problema natin kung bakit mahirap tayong magbago. So, dadaos-dos yung buhay natin, di ba? So, ibig sabihin po, if mental health, no, requires also humility, pagpapakumbaba. Kasi kung hindi ka marunong magpakumbaba, hindi ka marunong tumanggap ng pagkakamali. Eh paano ka matututo kung hindi ka marunong tumanggap ng pagkakamali? Okay. Ganito yung mga usaping mental health, mga example, no? Okay. So ayan. So klaro ha, na ito yung karakteristik ng tao na may positive state of mental health. Ulitin ko ha. You can be productive in your activities, despite of challenges of life, no? You can remain productive. You have the capacity not to establish healthy relationships, okay? You have the ability to adapt, to change, and cope with diversity. Okay, so all in all, as you could see, mental health is the foundation for emotions, thinking, communication, learning, resilience, and self-esteem. Mental health is the key, no, to relationships, personal, emotional well-being, and contributing to community or society. Kaya mga girls, mga teenagers dyan, no, pag ikaw ay nag-boyfriend o nag-girlfriend, ang una mong itanong, kamusta naman ang state ng iyong mental health? No? So hindi na yung tanong na dato na siya. Okay? Naanay trabaho. Okay? So idagdag mo sa katanungan mo dahil ito yung mahalaga. What is your state of mental health? Okay. So ayan. So ano pa po ba, sir? So ito,
Ayun,
no?
Sige po, thank you so much, ma'am. No, actually, I'm really amazed, no, kay even me as an interviewer lang, it really looked like a therapy session, no. So there's more to there's more to mental health than just anxiety or
Yes.
depression, no. But it really dictates or is somewhat it is correlated po sa action sa usa ka tao, no. So ma'am, I have a few questions po that are from our live viewers sa atong Facebook. Of course po, in the time of the when COVID-19 happened, no, so daghan gyud, no, na mga tao, not just limited to Filipino families or Filipinos, but around the world, no, na nag-struggle gyud with coping up kaning sa ginatawag nato na anxiety that eventually led to depression. So ma'am, any tips po ba, no, on how to overcome this, no? Kay of course ma'am, no, many of us were limited to just roaming around our lot, no, sa atong mga tugkaran lang, no. Daghan kaayo mga restrictions, no. Many were not able to see their friends, many were not able to see their loved ones. So paunsa man ni nato ma-address, ma'am, if we feel like kanang we're having anxiety or panic attacks? Sige ma'am, paunsa daw nato siya ma-address? How do we address it?
Ganito. Actually, if you are having, i-clear ko lang ha, yung mga nabanggit kasi ni Sir Laceda is panic attack, anxiety, depression. Magkakaiba kasi yon, no? These are actually considered mental health disorders. Sakit na po sila. Okay, depression, anxiety disorder, panic disorder, no, o may panic attack ka. Okay. Now, if you ask me as a therapist, iba-iba kasi ang pamamaraan ng pag-deal sa kanila. Now, if you have this kind of problems already, no, hindi sapat yung sasabihin ko dito. Okay, para matulungan kayo, you really have to go get professional help. Okay, bibigyan ko kayo ng idea ha. Like for example, paano mo malalaman na may depression ka? Okay, yung tinatawag natin na illness na yung sakit. Okay, most likely you would see sudden changes sa depression. No? Yun bang pakiramdam mo hopeless? No? Yun bang ang pakiramdam mo wala ka ng pag-asa sa buhay? Okay? Yun yung pag-iisip ng taong may depression. Sakit. Sakit yan Sakit na depression. Wala kang pag-asa sa buhay. Pakiramdam mo wala kang kwenta. Pakiramdam mo ang bigat-bigat ng mundo. Yun ba ay to the point na behavioral manifestation niya ayaw mo nang bumangon. Gusto mo palagi ka lang nakahiga. Yung iba hindi makatulog, no? Minsan 1 oras, 2 oras, 3 oras lang ang tulog. Meron namang iba na matutulog 10 oras, 11 hours, 9 hours, pero pagising nakaganon pa rin sa bed, pagod. Okay. So makikita mo yung pagbabago na para bang walang kapag-asa ang buhay sa iyo. Dito pumapasok, pag hinayaan mo yung lumala, pag lumala kasi yan, no? Yung feeling of hopelessness, helplessness, okay? Doon pumapasok yung idea na para bang ayoko nang mabuhay. Pag ito pumasok na sa utak mo, Diyos ko po, mag-dial ka na ng 911. Okay? Pag napansin mo na wala ka ng ganang kumain, ang tulog mo sa loob ng 4 na araw o 1 linggo, ang tulog mo 2 oras na lang, 3 oras na lang. Ang pagkain mo wala ka ng gana, 4 na araw pa lang, ganun ka na, tuloy-tuloy. Okay? Iyak ka ng iyak. Na tingin mo wala ka namang dahilan para umiyak, wala kang katitigil sa pag-iyak. At ito ay sa loob ng 4 na araw, tuloy-tuloy kang ganon. Get some help. Go to your psychiatrist. Konti lang kasi ang psychiatrist natin dito sa Davao, no? So, go to a medical doctor para ma-refer ka. Okay? Especially pag meron ka ng pag-iisip na parang, uy, gusto ko nang mamatay. Okay? Ngayon, pwede ka rin pumunta, humingi ng tulong sa isang psychologist. Okay? Mayroon tayong mga hotlines, no? May mga hotlines tayo na pwede ninyong tawagan. Okay? Ngayon, Sir Laceda, no? Iba naman si anxiety, yun si depression. Okay? Meron, ipapasok ko na rin yung cases ng ng postpartum depression. Ito sa mga nanay diyan, no? Okay. Meron tayong tendency na magkaroon tayo ng postpartum depression kapag bagong panganak, 1 buwan, 2 buwan, no? O linggo pa lang. No, may tendency tayo sa postpartum depression because of hormonal changes plus kung meron ka pang tinatawag na kanang ingon ka nga sa inyong bloodline ba, it could be inherited kasi. Kung halimbawa meron tayong history sa pamilya noon pa o currently, no, ng depression, you are very vulnerable. So bantayan ito. Ngayon, sa anxiety iba naman yan. Sa anxiety, ang makikita mo, there is a constant worry or apprehension o may takot. For no reason, for people with anxiety disorder, for example, meron tayong tinatawag na agoraphobia, under anxiety disorders, no? Sa agoraphobia, ayaw mong lumabas ng bahay. Maglabas ka ng bahay, bigla parang kakabugin ka, ang dibdib mo, natatakot ka, okay? Tapos, para kang mamamatay sa takot. Pag lumabas ka ng bahay, agoraphobia tawag dyan, no? Meron tayong tinatawag na, for some people, may panic attack. Yung nahihirapan silang huminga, akala nila may heart attack sila, okay? And then, if you're going to look at it, no, meron silang, for some people, meron silang specific na kinakatakutan. For some people with, tinatawag natin generalized anxiety disorder, hindi nila maintindihan. No, they just have this constant worry and panic attack for a reason they don't understand. Again, you need professional help. Okay? Naapo tayo schizophrenia, sir. Actually, according to studies, no, daghan tag Filipinos na schizophrenia. Kana natong makita ninyo nga mag-hallucinate, no? Kanang ikaw dili makita sa lain tao ang imong makita. Makikita kang mga tao nga dugay nang namatay, okay? Makita kang mga engkanto, okay? Pero ikaw ray nakakita, ikaw lang din ang nakakaamoy, no? So it could be a form of hallucination. You talk to yourself, no? You are no longer connected with reality. Okay, so that's schizophrenia. And actually, many more. Ito lang yung common. Okay, ngayon, ang pwede kong ibigay sa inyo na tip is ganito. What can you do so that you will never reach? Hindi mo mararating yon. Kasi ganito po yun Sir Laceda, no? You have to understand that mental health is a continuum. Hindi siya yes or no. No? Dili siya okay or buang. It's not like that. It is a continuum. Okay? Ibig sabihin, your mental health can move along either healthy, reacting, injured, or ill. Okay? Bakit ka papayag na makarating ka sa ill? Kung halimbawa sa injured or sa reacting or injured ka pa lang, pwede mo na siyang gawan ng paraan para wag kang maging ill. Anong ibig kong sabihin dito? Sample, yung mga namatayan during COVID, syempre may grief, sakit man yun na. Even a person with healthy mental health, tungod sa kasakit sa ilahang gibati, no? Mahulog, there are times that they will have a reacting mental health or injured mental health. But because they are resilient, no? So the key is resiliency. Okay? They are resilient, they have self-awareness. Umiingon ka nga, di ko gusto nga maadto ko sa injured. Di ko gusto nga ma-depress ko. Di ko gusto nga magka-anxiety ko. Kinahanglan na ako himuon. So you bounce back being healthy. Now, number one is self-awareness. You should be aware of what's happening to you. Bawal mag-deny. Okay? Do not deny your feelings, your thoughts. You have to be aware of them. And then, itong continuum na ito, somehow, dapat nauunawaan mo siya. Naunawaan mo kung ano ang mental health. So, ito po, sir, sorry ha, pero I need your viewers to understand this. Sa physical health kasi, tulad ng cancer, diabetes, meron kasi siyang physical manifestation. Like for example, sa cancer, mawalan ka ng buhok. Sa diabetes, may blood sugar ka. FBS mo magtaas, di ba? Paano naman sa mental health? So makikita ninyo, ito yung manifestation natin sa mental health. Makikita mo ang mood, ang attitude, ang tulog, at saka physical health activity habits. Pero dito na lang tayo sa madali, sa mood. Kung titingnan mo, kung healthy ka, normal ang mood mo, most of the time kalmado ka. Okay? You can still have humor, no? Despite the challenges. May kakayahan kang maging kalmado. Okay? Yung tulog mo, kahit may challenges ka sa buhay, you can still have a normal pattern of sleep. At least 6, 7, 8 hours. Depende sa edad mo, no? Okay? And then, yung attitude mo, tingnan mo yung attitude pag healthy ka. Good sense of humor ka. Makikita mo, yung pananaw mo sa trabaho, kahit mahirap, meron kang attitude na humanon ako ni. Okay? Hinahinayon ako ni. All in all, you have control. May control ka sa pag-iisip mo. For some people kasi, ito makinig po ng mabuti For some people kasi, makikita mo, they have what we call cognitive automaticity. Anong cognitive automaticity? Yun bang automatic na iisip mo kahit ayaw mong isipin? Yung pagising mo sa umaga, bad mood ka na, tanungin mo, bakit ka bad mood? Kasi marami ka nang iniisip. Hindi mo na kontrolado. Hindi mo ko ganahan ani ako muna. Ang anong animan, my patients would always say that to me. My clients, no? So I always teach them, I teach them, ito na, tip na I teach them that when they wake up in the morning, magkaroon sila tinatawag na mental cleaning. Di ba? Pag marami, kahit nasa paligid mo, pag magulo, di ba? Mahirap magtrabaho pag magulo. Ganon din sa loob ng utak natin. Pag dagan kayo kag yung nga problema, pwede pag matani mo, kalma sa. So, the secret here is here, You do breathing. Sit down or lie down, breathe. Inhale, exhale from the abdomen, okay? I-google nyo yung tamang breathing exercise, okay? I-google nyo yan. And then you do that. And then, You tell yourself, I want to clear my mind. I-clear mo yung mind mo of all thoughts that worries you. Wag mo i-entertain, i-clear mo. Okay, I want to have a clear mind. And then, pwede kang mag-imagery. Like for example, gusto mong imagery. Think of one object. Here, in between here. When you close your eyes, yun lang ang dapat mong makita while you are doing the breathing. Okay? So, wala kang ibang iisipin. I-reject mo lahat ng thoughts. May panahon ka. Meron kang 24 hours. Sabihin mo sa sarili mo, I want to spend 10 hours na magkaroon ng kalmadong pag-iisip. Okay? Mahalaga yan. Okay? And then, when you're doing the breathing and you're doing the what we call imagery, no, relaxation imagery yan, okay? Next mong gagawin din, ang isip ko mo, kalmado na. Wala nang magulong iniisip. You go automatic sa gratitude exercise. Ano yung gratitude exercise? Okay. Sample ako. Kasi ako, nung COVID, I truly lost someone I loved during COVID times. No? Actually, he died. Okay? So I really went into grief every day of my life, no, during that time. Mahirap talaga. Okay? But then, okay, ginagawa ko itong sinasabi ko, This is how I move forward with life, no? And enjoy life at the moment despite of the grief and the pain, okay? So what I do once nag-clear na ang mind is you do the gratitude exercise. So I look at my children. I've got 2 kids, no? One, titingnan ko, humihinga. Yung isang anak ko humihinga, ako humihinga. And then I say, God, thank you, we're still alive. Okay. Thank you, Lord, na we have food to eat. Kasi di ba, sir, nung pandemic, grabe kahirap. Even I lost, no, so much during the pandemic. But then, kahit mahirap, no, kanang imong gibuhi nga manok, magpasalamat ka na naakay gibuhi nga makaon. Naiitlog, magpasalamat. So gratitude is very powerful. Okay? So you go count 10 good things that happens to you. That is happening to you. Focus on that gratitude. 10 minutes lang yan. Okay? And then, bumangon ka na. Actually, the gratitude can also be a form of prayer. Okay? And then, bumangon ka na. And since, di ba, marami kang iniisip ka na, usawan man ni ma'am, gadagan mo problema. Kung sagihin mo sa papel, o ballpen, nga nung diha magyud nimo ibutang tanan ang problema sa imong utok. Diba? So what you should do is get a paper, ilista tanan imuhang problema, kini ang mga nagsamok sa panghuna-huna, ilista tanan. And then, one by one, imong huna-huna, okay, dili tanan, di sabay-sabay. Ibig sabihin, you have to recognize your limitation as a person. Okay, nakalimitasyon. Dili kasi superwoman. Nga tanan-tanan, sabay-sabay yun imong huna-huna. So, number 1, dinhe, okay, akong problema karon na ako'y utang na kinahanglan bayaran. Number 1, unsa akong pwede himuon ani? Solusyon sa, okay, okay. Naan ako'y solusyon ani. Ikini akong buhaton, maayong buhatin. Kaduha, okay, sunod nga topic kini, akong bana, dudag yun na ako, nailakin. No? Number 2 nga problema. So, unsa ang maayo akong buhaton ani? Call a friend if you can, but make sure you have a good social support. Ayaw pili og tao nga toxic. Kay mas lalo kang matoxic. Okay? So call a reliable friend who will give you good advice. Okay? And then dahan-dahan ba, one by one. So ibig sabihin, our mind needs organization of thought. Okay? This is simple. No? And then you do your routine, like food. Importante po ito, no? Yung pagkain, mahalaga yan sa mental health natin. Pansinin nyo, okay? Actually, ang layman's term natin, yung matatanda, sabi nila na kanang, dili jud ka magpagutom dong, kay ang gutom makabuang. Actually, may point po yung matatanda. Pansinin ninyo, pag gutom kayo, ang init ng ulo nyo. Because, ang ginagamit natin para magkaroon tayo ng maayos na mental health is utak. Magkadugtong si utak at si tiyan. So si utak, kailangan ng oxygen, kailangan i-fuel siya ng energy. Saan galing yun? Sa kinakain mo. So kung hindi ka kumakain, anong energy ni utak na ginagamit mo para mag-isip, para magkaroon ng positibong mental health? You see the connection, the connect. So it's very important that you have a good diet. Karon, tistingig sigig ko, sigikag ko. Why kanon? Why dili lang kanon, why carbohydrate? Distinct. Unsa imuhang mood? Your mood is affected by that because too much sugar is bad for the brain. Okay? So I'm not a nutritionist to talk about this, no? But my point here is part ng positibong mental health is good diet. Okay. So those are simple tips. Alam kong madaling sabihin na, oy, stay optimistic. Madaling sabihin yan. Pero mahirap pong gawin yan. Pero yung suggestion ko sa inyo kanina na simple, breathing exercise, organizing your thoughts, no, using the paper and pencil, no, to organize your thoughts, no, doing a mindfulness exercise in the morning, doing the gratitude exercise. Subukan niyo po. That will likely help you become optimistic. Ayan po. Yes, sir. Any more?
All right, Mavi, thank you for that very wonderful kumbaga session or advice, especially not just to the Filipino youth, no, but even to leaders of the family. Opo, kasi of course hindi naman po lingid no sa ato ang mga knowledge no that not every Filipino na adunay ikabayad sa specialista or adunay salapi no para ikabayad sa specialista. So kaning atong programa no is a way of helping no kaning atong mga viewers no ato ang mga kapwa taga Davao region, even outside of Davao region nga to learn how to overcome no kaning atong mga ginaagian nga mga stresses no in the times, most especially karon no sa panahon sa pandemic. Ma'am, I believe you need to finish your PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah.
You may go ahead po. Sige,
yes,
go ahead,
because this was the reason actually in your letter no that you sent. So I would just go here. So you
All
see ito kasi okay, there is yung lahat naman ng bagay sa mundong ito, no, there are advantages and disadvantages. Our point here is always keep the balance, no? So okay, like for example po ngayon meron akong patient ngayon, okay? Already an adult, a government worker, no, who has problems with the use of social media. When you say internet use in general, kasi ang tulog niya is only 3 hours na lang. Dahil once, ang mahirap kasi sa social media, YouTube, Facebook, no, once mag-start ka ng isang video, next, walang katapusan. Okay? And same is true for another patient with problems in online games. Walang katapusan, no? So, ito kasi yon, no? Bakit meron tayong tendency na kahit alam natin na alas stress na, di paghihapon ka katulugon. Magsigira gihapon ka hala, sigira gihapon og tan-aw, sigira gihapon dula, no? Tapos pag mata nimo, automatic murag pangitaon nimo dayon. No? Katoy mong try nyo yan sa Facebook, minsan hindi ka pa nakamumog, hindi ka pa nakadasal, yun agad ang tingnan mo. Okay? You know, human as we are kasi, no? We have this part of the brain, no, that likes pleasure. No? It likes pleasure. Kumbaga pa, ganahan siya kalamit, especially ka ng mga tao nga daghang problema. No? Bigla ko tuloy naalala yung isang taong na-meet ko na may gambling disorder. Hello sa mga taga-saksa, no? Okay. You know, I met someone, I met someone from Sasa with a gambling problem. Grabe ang pinagdaanan niyang problema sa buhay, no? At dahil sa sugal na yan, naka-feel siya ng pleasure, ng para bang dahil sa sugal, nakakalimutan niya ang problema niya. Pero balik tayo, no, sa internet use. Human as we are, we like pleasure. So, when you experience pleasure using an activity tulad ng internet use o sugal ba yan, no? Hahanapin ng katawan mo. Actually, technically speaking, it is because of maraming chemical, but ang pinakanunang chemical is yung dopamine. No? So, pag nakaka-experience tayo ng sarap, na pakiramdam, masarap na pakiramdam sa ginagawa natin, yung dopamine natin dumadami sa utak natin. At dahil doon, no, hindi tayo makatulog. Sige pa rin, no? Kahit wala ka ng pera, hanap ka pa rin, gawin mo pa rin, no? So kahit alam mo may trabaho kinabukasan, online pa rin. Kahit sa trabaho, sige pa rin, no? Because you can't stop because of the pleasure. And it is supported by your brain by releasing more dopamine, no? And eventually, it might lead to addiction. Okay. Ngayon, dito ngayon papasok si mental health. Kasi si mental health, no, as I said, it's a state of mind. Once napansin mo na, uy, sandali, murag, oo, bitaw no, gilamian, bitaw ko no, pero dali lang ha, nakapabang kinahanglan mo manon, ay dali lang ha, akong tulog, murag, maapektuhan akong trabaho. You know to go back to balance. Yun ay kinaganda kung meron kang positibong mental health. Okay? So, ang gagawin mo, you choose to go back to your routine. That's why routine is very important. But before we go that, you see, internet use is not really bad. Okay? Because as you can see here, no, kanina ko pa man i-flash yan dyan, sana binasa nyo na. Ito yung mga advantages. No, may advantage siya, like sa online education natin, sa self-expression, sa TikTok natin, di ba? Maganda naman yung TikTok because you can express yourself creatively. Maraming lumalabas na galing sa TikTok. Yung ating artistic qualities, yung ating mga talents, no? So it's good, okay? Through the internet, no, we can build ito ginagawa natin ngayon, webinar, di ba? Yung social connectivity. Okay, di ba? Nagkakaroon tayo ng technological literacy. Dati nga, wala akong alam sa ganito. Ngayon, natuto ako because of the internet. No, we can build community. So, maraming positibong na ibibigay sa atin ng internet use. Okay? Kaya lang, no? The word is control. If you lose your self-control, no? Ito yung mangyayari. Okay? So, here. So, nagkakaroon ng family relational tension. Maniwala ka, may mga mag-asawa na nasa kama na, dapat ang ilang gihikap, ilang mga kamot nag-holding hands. Kung kayo mag-asawa man, no? Pero nag-unsa sila, ilang cellphone, ilahang gina, hangtod mato, cellphone gihapon. So, it really affects, no, relationship. Even sa pagkainan, pag kayong lahat humahawak ng cellphone, bad sign yan. Okay, in one therapy session that I went through, kasi mayroon akong, tinawag ako to rescue, no, a person who is having a schizophrenia attack, no. One time, you know, siguro nadala na rin ako doon sa stress na situation, na talagang, I told the whole family because their mother is having an attack. But then, yung mga nasa labas na family members, you know what they're doing? Naggunit og cellphone. Tanan. Sila tanan, nag-cellphone. And their mother is crying inside the house. You know, I said, all of you need to stop doing exactly what you're doing. We need to talk. Okay? You see? Because according to the mother, yung kinausap ko, alam mo sabi ng mother, wala na sila'y panahon nga maminaw sa kuha. May pang cellphone, ilahang hikapon, ilahang itapad sa ilahang pagtulog. At ultimo na akong bana. Pero ako, wala na ko nag-exist sa ilaha. It's an example of relational tension. No? Yung mother nila meron na talagang history kasi ng mental disorder. Kaya yun ang parang naging trigger, no? Yung relational tension. You see? And then, you know, because of lack of control, so much time spent, no, nagkakaroon ng poor school performance, okay? Ayan, poor self-regulation in the use of mental health, use of internet leads to mental health crisis, no? At ano yung mental health crisis na yan? Yun yung tinatawag natin na addiction niya, no? Internet addiction nga yan, okay? And then, yung violence, no? Kasi especially sa mga bata, Diyos ko po, ang mga bata, I'm talking about 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No? What they see for them is real. they cannot really distinguish without your guidance na maglisod na silang distinguish sa tinuod o dili tinuod. So mauman permanente ilang makita nga nagsigig away-away sa sulod sa ilang cellphone. So most likely they would model that. Tanawa magpalaaway hinuon. Diba? So there must always be control, no, and limitations, boundaries, no, and then social alienation leading to poor social emotional development among children. Kasi po, naiintindihan ko, ito naman, guilty din naman ako nito, no, na minsan ginagawa natin na alternate pacifier ang gadget. Kung kanang, yung magulo yung mga anak, bigyan mo ng gadget, tatahimik ang buong bahay. Pero alam niyo po, yung sobrang tahimik na tahanan, hindi po healthy yan. Okay? There must be an open communication sa family. And yun, nagkakaroon ng masamang epekto ang internet use pag walang limitation, walang control. So ito po, okay. Ayan ha, tingnan ninyo. Actually, ginawa ko siyang ganito para maunawaan. Ganito. Netflix, di ba? Sir, tama, di ba? Minsan movie viewing. Minsan sa YouTube yan eh. Social media, TikTok, FB, Instagram, online games, no? Yung iba nga, pagbisita ng barkada, kasi minsan sa barkada maglaro as a group, no? Yung iba traveling na, yung mga rides na yan sa motor, di ba? Minsan masobrahan din yan. So, sometimes we do this because we say, kinahanglan ako mag-relax. Kini ako pang pa-relax. Okay, fine. Wala na yung problema. Pero na ay prerequisite. Kung baga pa, na ay requirement. Once na mo start ka anak, kini ang requirements, ang gitawag nato nga balancing intra-life skills. Kaya kung wala kay ing-ani, dako ang posibilidad na madili nimo siya mabalanse. Okay? Mahimo hinuon siyang problema. So, kung saan balancing intra-life skills na to, kinahanglan na kay self-discipline. AKA, kontrolon yun na nimo. So, usa man na, dapat makita na nimo sa imuhang time management. Unsay time management? O sige, moingon ka. According to research, ang mga bata 6 years old and down, 1 hour lang yun sila. Dapat, no? Ang 1 to 2 years old, dili pa na dapat sila alone play sa gadget. Wa pa na alone. Kung mogamit na sila gadget for calling, no? Calling or kanang face-to-face calling gani sir sa messenger ana, no? Pero dili gyud nang diha nga maghimo nimong tig-alaga ang gadget, bad kayo na, no? So, sa time management, so naa kay time limit. Moingon ka, pag 7 o'clock, dapat wala na. Okay? So, mamaya, pag meron ako ibigay sa inyo na tip dyan mamaya. And then, you must take responsibility. Tingnan ninyo sa kabila. Yung dating functional coping, naging dysfunctional. Bakit? Kasi wala kang intra-life skills eh. Pinabayaan mo eh. Nagpadala ka na lang kasi magaan sa pakiramdam. Ginawa mo siyang naging psychological. Actually, ang term naging psychologically dependent ka. Na tuwing may problema ka, nagbababad ka dyan. Hanggang sa nawawalan ka ng control. Hanggang sa nagpo-procrastinate ka. So it creates more problem. So it becomes dysfunctional. So I hope you understand this. So may prerequisite. Self-discipline, time management, taking responsibility. Okay, now, tips. This is very important, no? Limited digital media for your youngest family members. So sabi dito, sabi ko nga kanina, 2 to 5, dapat 1 hour. No? 2 to 5 years old. Okay? 1 hour high quality programming. Ngayon, kung halimbawa isali mo na maging 2 hours na yan, kapag kasama pa yung online na pagtuturo. No? Pero dito most likely kasi yung 1 hour, ito yung tinatawag natin na para bang pleasurable use of gadget. Yung maglalaro ka lang, mag-YouTube ka, gano'n. Yung maglalaro ka, yung kumaga pa for entertainment. At least 1 hour lang talaga. Okay? And then dapat co-viewing. Ano ibig sabihin ng co-viewing? Huwag mo pabayaan mag-isa yung anak mo. Kayong dalawa. Like halimbawa, kung manood kayo ng Dora, o di ba tinatanong, oh, anak, anong kulay ng damit ni Dora? O anak, saan papunta si Dora? Tingnan mo nga. O di ba? So there is still communication between the two of you. Di ba? Yan tinatawag na co-viewing. Okay? Hindi na, yung anak mo nakaganon sa gadget, ang matawa, nagsiga na, nag-anak na, nagsiga na. No? Walang na kay communication sa bata. No? That's not good. Okay? So 1 hour ha? Okay, sa mga bata. Okay, sa mga tigulang, okay, at least 2 hours. Okay, 2 hours. And then, ito, don't use it as an emotional pacifier. Ito na, yung tinatawag natin ng family gadget use plan. Ito ang aking recommendation. No? Sa ating mga pamilya, hindi mahalaga kung mababa ang socio-economic status mo o yung tinatawag nilang pobre o mayaman ka. Hay, hindi man yan sa pobre o mayaman ang mental health. No? Maraming tinatawag na pobre pero alam mo pobre dahil sa kagipitan sa pera pero mayaman sa pagmamahalan, pag-uunawaan sa pamilya. Yun ang panalo. 'Di ba, no? So ito yung point natin. So sa gadget use plan, no? So dapat merong meeting ang family every week. Saturday, and then naayun mo ka ng kung wala pa mo ing ana na himua. Mga anak, nakita na gyud nako unsay mali sa ato ang pamilya ha. Magsigig tag away-away. Ikaw Dodong, nagsigig kag away sa imong igsuon. Ako po nagsigig pug inyong yawa sa inyong amahan. Di na gyud ni maayos atong pamilya ba? Magsigig tag gubot ba? O tanaw ang grasya nilupad. So dapat ato ni siyang i-change, no? O sa atong himuon, o sige, mag-meeting ta, mag-istorya ta. Okay? So meron kayong regular meeting in the family. So ito yung pwede niyong pag-usapan. So pag-usapan ninyo yung gadget free time. O sige ha, kung magkaon, way gamit gadget. Meal time, walang magagadget. O ka nang matug na ta, o alas 7 man ta matug, di ba? O alas 6 pa lang wala na gadget ha. Tanang gadget dapat ibutang sa isa ka lugar. So meron kayong tinatawag na charging area. Na diyan lahat ipondo, may guard si mama o si papa. O mama, papa, kasali baya kayo? O isali dyan, 6 o'clock. Okay? Pagka 7 o'clock, everyone will watch a movie or a news. Okay? But you do it together. That's family work. Akala nyo ang pamilya, ganun-ganun lang. No. No, mura kag nag-handle ng isa ka organisasyon na ikaw dapat mahimong leader. Ginikanan ka, dapat leader ka. Okay? And then, dapat nakagitawag ng gadget-free area. O, sa kananan, way gadget ha? Way gadget sa kananan. Sa tuluganan, darling, way gadget. Dodong, ano na kay gadget? Manong imong gadget, imong hikap-hikap diha. Okay? Dili na maayo. Okay. So, there are gadget-free area and there are gadget-free time. So, dapat na siya masabutan sa pamilya. O dapat mahimo yun na. Maipatuman yun na. Di ba giganahan ta kay Duterte kay kung sa ipatuman yun niya? So, let's do that in our own family. No? Pero, ayaw pagpatuman o isa ka balaod sa imuhang pamilya na wa ninyo gisabutan. Bawal na. Okay? Kung baga pa sa isang bansa, that's against human rights, di ba? Sabutan sa nato, himuon nga balaod sa ato ang pamilya. Ana, di ba? Tapos sunod, natay gadget curfew, no? Yung sinabi ko kanina. So the family will identify what time at night must everyone rest from their gadget. And then you identify an area where all gadgets will be charged. Na kay charging station. Okay. Social ba anak mo? Uy, nag-charging station. Kung sa imong definition social, dato-dato na pod, dili. No? We're not talking about economic status here. Okay? This can be done by anyone. Okay? And then, when gadgets are used for recreation, children are allowed to, ayan. Dapat lang, oy, ikaw ha, nening ha, dapat, pwede nimo na gamiton. Sa video chat lang sa imong uncle, papa, anak. Okay, sa learning apps, why mo tanaw og ball? No? Dapat, ikaw, Dodong, kung gusto ka mag-masturbate, hala atong CR. Pero ayaw anang imuhang nga magbabad ka sa porno, ha? Kaya kung sa'yo mahita mo, sa'yo muna, that is actually pornography, no? Exposure to pornography, ha? It's not good for your mental health. Okay? So, ayan. Okay. And then, ikaw mismo nga ginikanan, no? Makialam ka. Kung sa'yo mong gitanaw diha anak. Kung sa'yo na, child-friendly games ba na? Halad no. Kung sa'yo man nagsige man nagpatiya nanay do. Dong, pangita diha, mas maayo dong, be. Okay? So, talk to them. Ayaw ko permanenteng pinasyagit, no? Anak, no? So, dapat, istorya ho sa natin maayo. Okay? Now, Dapat po, as part of the gadget plan is allowable screen time per child. So, dili po ta sigig ingon nga unsay bawal. Dili na. Dapat, istorya na to unsay pwede. O mga anak, kini ang pwede. Kini ang dili pwede. Kay gabulo mo, atong mga kabataan-unan, sus, muingon na gani kag bawal, muulbo na ilahang mga ulo anak, masuko na sila, no? So unaha sa unsay pwede, na kini ang pwede, di ba? Na kini ang dili pwede. Ug dapat sila mismo ang nag-identify, di ba? Nga na sa imong tan-aw na, unsa ka pwede. Ma, pwede ko mo tan-aw aning cross of fire, ma? Sige do, unsa may imong matun-an anak do? Oh. You know, you'll be surprised that your children has the capacity to know what is right and wrong. Give them the time to process, to think, and then listen to them. Ma-amaze ka lang, bright marinig akong anak. Walang yun ko naminaw that. Di ba, no? So, meeting time is very important. And then, also, you have to create what we call the alternative off-screen activities. O, kana. Dili ta magsigingon og bawal, tapos wa tay himuon. Tapos otro ra gihapon di ay ta nga naghimo og giingon natog bawal. That is bad parenting. Okay? So, when you say anak kanang pwede ba pag Sabado sa hapon kay wala naman tay klase, wa may trabaho ni papa ninyo, di ba? So kanang pwede kanang dili lang sa ta mag-screen time, siguro mag-ano na lang ta, mag-outdoor activity ta. Sige, mag-picnic ta diha o magluto tag barbecue. O ay mahal mo dayang ano no, karne sa baboy karon. O sige, mag-ano na lang ta, mag-saging na lang ta, mag-barbecue tag saging or hotdog. O anak ba? O mag-drawing activity ta. O sa Sunday magsimba ta. Okay? You have to create alternative off-screen activities. At ito pa po, very important, no? You know, true that a family that prays together stays together. No? Kasi po, with clients that I deal with, when all hopes, no, are gone, yun bang, let's say, namatay yung taong mahal niya, yung pamilya niya, iniwan siya, wala siyang pera, dati yun kasi inaasahan niya. Nung lahat ng yun nawala na, may isa na pwede mong kapitan. Yun yung tinatawag natin na Diyos, Allah, Jehovah, Bathala. Marami siyang pangalan, depende sa relihiyon mo. Pero yung may paniniwala ka na may Diyos, no, we call that faith. Faith is very important in mental health. Why? Because faith, through faith, no, it gives hope. Your faith will give you hope. That is why it's very important na yung mga anak natin, turuan nating magdasal. Parte yan ng pagiging magulang natin. Okay? At kung kaya, nadalahin sila sa simbahan, kung Saturday ang simba nyo, Friday ang simba nyo sa mga Muslim, Sunday ang simba nyo sa mga Katoliko at Kristiyano, go. But the point here is that our children will grow with faith. Okay? So yun po, no? So again ha, family meeting time, mag-establish tayo. Gamitin nyo itong guide na may gadget use plan. Okay? And then dili pwede mo himo og balaod sa sulod sa panimalay nga ikaw ray niihimo. Dapat istoryahan kauban ang mga bata. Dili pwede mo himog balaod sa sulod sa balay tapos ikaw wa naghimo nga ginikanan, ikaw yun ang model. Okay? Bawal ang taas ug garbo. Kanay makadaot og relasyon, kasagaran, no? Kita, we set as an example, no? Naaman tayo rules. So we live by those rules, no? And naa may consequences, no? Mo respeto ta. Like for example, kanang akong anak ma'am, no, di ko ganahan. Kay nakakulihiyo lang porket ako inahan, grade 2 lang ko, iya kong syagit-syagitan. Iya kong in Tagalog kinakatwiranan ako. So pwede niyang lagyan ng rules. Example rules na anak ingani. Kanang ingani nak ba? Kanang musyagit gani ka sa ko anak. Kanang masakitan ko na, kanang musyagit ka sa kuha, murag, wala na kay respeto sa kuha anak. Mayroon imong anak, dili man ma. Ang ako araman man kay gusto ka maminaw. Gusto ko maminaw ka sa kuha. O sige na, king-ani na ka. O di ba, nag-roleplay na ako dito. Sabihin mo, sige na, king-ani. Maminaw ko na, pero pwede na ako'y pangayoon. Kanang kung naa kay gusto ingon, kanang imong boses na, pwede na to imubo. Walay pataasay og boses na. Mubo lang nato na. Tapos, ikaw sa mag-istorya na, maminaw ko. Pero mubo lang ang boses na, ha? Okay. O walay muingon og bad words. Ano ganyan sa Bisaya? Kanang walay mamalikas, no? No use of these words at atong balay. That can be part of the family rules. So you see, parents, akala nyo madali? We are the managers inside our house. We have to be leaders, to be parents. Okay? We help together with our kids, especially pag teenagers na, we lead them to set rules. So very important, no? And then yan, ito, responsible online behavior, ha? Dapat may rules kayo ito. Kanang naapudunta mo rules kung sa ang picture nga ibutang sa Facebook, no? Kanang unsa ba? Kanang mugawas na ba ang clickbait? Gamay na lang, mugawas na imuhang akngal diha or whatever diha, no? So you must have rules. What pictures can be considered decent na i-post, no? Storyahan na ninyo. No to bullying, okay, kanang no to use of phone while walking or driving, walay mo share of personal information online, walay mo muingon og mamalikas online, things like that ba? Kung naatay problema, dili i-post dayon, istoryahan sa nato, things like that. So those are part of the rules that you can make. Okay, ito po. Lastly, nagbabago man po ang panahon at ugali ng tao, ngunit mananatili ang pagiging magulang natin. So, try our best to become good parents. Walang perfect parents. There are only good parents. We make mistakes, yes, but what's important is we know how to recognize them, we are willing to change them, and we are always willing to learn because we love our family. Yan po. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Miss V. So, no, sa ato ang mga viewers, even for me, no, murag nahimo gyud siyang a mixture of a therapy session, no? Nahimo na pud si murag spiritual advisor, mura na pud siya family development session. So siksik gyud kaayo ang talk ni Miss V. Dagan kayong salamat, Miss V, no, for being very tawag ani, no, you're very into the talk, no, kanang you are very passionate, no, about your advocacy, about your career, and also of how badly you want to help most especially Filipinos. So dagan kayong salamat, ma'am. I do not have much to ask from you, or I do not have much questions to ask you kay natubag na gyud nimo ang tanan, no? But kuan lang, ma'am, no, kuan lang, ma'am, no, gusto na lang ta mangayo og mensahe nimo sa atong mga viewers, and also, no, what are the hotlines if there are man na pwede nila tawagan in case they are in need, and unsa ang mga, kumbaga, kindly discuss na lang pod programs ni Department of Health, no, most especially karon sa atong pagsaulog sa International Day of Families. Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. Now, we are, as I said, we are the Drug Abuse Treatment and Rehabilitation Center under the Department of Health, no? So, what we cater are those people with addiction, 18 years old and above, no? And right now we have a male patient. So here, who can avail our service? So only male adult patients aging 18 years old and above may be admitted to the facility. Those who submit themselves for voluntary admission with court order, and those which have pending petition to the court but can provide a copy of docketed petition, or temporary confinement order or drug dependency exam results. Those who have court orders for compulsory admission, or persons deprived with liberty, o tinatawag natin na PDL, or those with who will enter plea bargaining agreement, no? So right now, wala pa po tayong female, okay, na mga patients, no, or minor patients. Okay. Ngayon, we also provide technical assistance, no, with regards to mental health issues, with regards to addiction. So you can always call us. We have our what do you call that? Facebook page, no? Hanapin nyo na lang DOH, Drug Abuse Treatment and Rehabilitation Center. At doon po, I am trying to look for our hotline number. Wait lang, hindi ko po kasi memorize, no? Okay, but probably, sir, I will just send it to you and post it, no, to your page also.
All right.
Because we
Sige
have
po.
a substance hotline.
We'll pin it here po sa ating comment section para
Okay.
sa contact number ng facility. All right.
Okay, I will be sending it to you the soonest
Okay.
after this, no?
All right. Thank you, Miss
Okay.
Vito. Dagang salamat po kaayo, ma'am, no. So kulang gyud ang oras no na adunat na naata no to really discuss everything, no, to discuss na nakadetalye gyud, detalyado gyud tanan, but siksik gyud kaayo ang inyong talk, ma'am, no. And ako personally nakatun ko, no. I hope and I believe that our viewers kay daghan po gyud sila napamalandungan, daghan sila natun-an no sa kuano sa inyo pong session, no. So ma'am, to show our appreciation to you, we would like to present to you our certificate of appreciation. Ayan, given to you po, Miss Virginia F. Ulit, PhD, in grateful recognition of your contribution as resource speaker during the conduct of the Talakayan sa Onse in celebration of the International Day of Families on May 27, 2022, held via Zoom platform, given this 27th day of May 2022 at DSWD Field Office 11, Davao City, signed by the Regional Director, Attorney Vanessa B. Gokong. So we will be giving you the physical certificate, ma'am. We will contact you. So ayan po. So for now, virtual na lang po muna. Ma'am, thank you so much. We're very grateful for your presence, no. It's not all the time we get a free therapy session, family development session, no, kaning intervention from experts. So daghan kayong salamat, ma'am, and we truly appreciate your
Goodbye,
presence.
everyone. God bless everyone.
Thank
Bye
you.
po.
God bless you po, ma'am. All right. So atong mga viewers, no, daghang salamat kay once again kay Miss V, no, sa iyang pag-share sa iyang kaalam, no, sa iyang expertise, no, para gyud kita makat-on. And of course, no, sa sabay po sa pagsaulog sa ato ang 2022 International Day of Families na celebration. Nga kita gyud makat-on, makapamalandong og kanang ato mo improve gyud, no, mo progress gyud atong pagpanginabuhi. Ayan. And of course, aduna siya atong first na resource person, aduna pud tay special pod nyo na mensahe pod, no, or session gumikan sa ato ang isa ka resource person pod, no. Gumikan siya sa Public Attorney's Office, no, usa siya ka Public Attorney 3 and the current OIC of the Davao City District Office of the Public Attorneys diri sa Region 11. We have a presentation from Attorney Roger Nocom. Ayan. So I'll be the one reading his presentation kay aduna pud siya commitment, no, another commitment pud karong hapon, but worry no more kay aduna man pud siya kaning presentation, no, para pud sa para pud makapamalandong pud og aduna pud makat-on ang ato ang mga viewers. Ayan. Sige. So ayan. So sige, ato siyang
Afternoon, everybody. By the way, I'm Attorney Roger Tinocom of the Public Attorney's Office, and I was tasked to discuss to you the different provisions and jurisprudence that we can find in relation to child custody, both for legitimate and illegitimate children. But before we discuss the different provisions, let's have first our objective for this session. Okay. After these sessions, we are expected to first acquire knowledge on custody of legitimate and illegitimate children. Next is to cite provision concerning custody and parental authority. And next is to cite example and apply our learnings on child custody, especially on cases that is given to us. Okay. Now, before we discuss this one, I want to pose these two questions. Okay. First is, have you already been confronted with a situation where conflicting parents fight over the custody of their child? Okay, how did you resolve such issues? Did you favor one party? Did you just give that party the child, considering that is his biological mother or father, or you deem it, you awarded that custody to one child, considering that one party, I mean, considering that the child wanted it more to be with him. Okay, or was there already a time when a father of an illegitimate child seek your intervention to secure custody of his child who is under the custody of the maternal grandparents? Say, for example, the mother went abroad, and then the child, considering being a biological parent, went to your office and asked your help, and see to it that if he and ask you if he could get the custody of his child who was left by his mother to his maternal grandparent. Okay, and how did you deal with that one? Okay, after this session, you can revisit your action and you can ask yourself whether you have um, done it correctly, okay, or whether you did that one according to laws and jurisprudence. Okay, actually the problem on custody is already an old problem. Okay, even at the time of our ancestor, this problem already existed. In fact, there is a one famous passage in Bible which talk about custody. The um, passage, I mean, that is the case wherein King Solomon was asked to decide on where the baby would go. Okay, for those who are not familiar with this one, the story goes like this: one of the woman, I mean, the two parties live in the same house. Okay, while she was asleep, he accidentally went on his child and killed his child. Okay, considering that his roommate has his child also, he exchanged the two the two babies. Okay, after which the mother of the child woke up and was surprised to see that his child was not already breathing, and see that the child of the other um, party, or the other woman, was already breathing. So what he did was he went to King Solomon and asked for his intervention. Okay, so how did King Solomon solve this type of problem? King Solomon tell them that he will cut the living child into two and give the half to one and the other half to other. But the woman whose son was alive was deeply moved of the love for her son and said to the king, "Please, my lord, give her the living baby, don't kill him." But the other said, "Neither I nor you shall have him, cut him into two." So the king gave his ruling by saying that the child should be awarded to the first woman. Okay? Do not kill him, she is the mother. Of course, we could not use this type of solution nowadays because it's not already applicable. But if you're going to read this passage, one thing that King Solomon considered was the best interest of the child. Okay? He awarded to the other party considering that it was the other party who have shown more care over the child. Okay? And with that, let us try to define first what is custody. Custody, according to American courts, in interpreting the term custody, they have considered that the complex of rights embraced thereby have no precise contours. In other words, it's so vast. Okay, the meaning is so vast. The definition of custody is so encompassing. It has been held that the parents with custody and control of their children have the right to make all reasonable decisions for control and proper functioning of the family as harmonious social unit, including the right to make decisions regarding care and control, education, health, and religion. So, ingana kadako ang responsibility sa person who has custody over another. That is why we in the government or we in the institution should only see to it that the child should go to a proper person who should have custody over him. Okay? According to law.kernel.edu, legal custody involves having a legal responsibility for a child and making major decisions regarding the child, including the child's health, education, and religious upbringing. So legal custody vests this right with one parent, while joint legal custody vests the right to both parents. Okay, so same thing, when we talk about custody, it involves now the future of the child. That's why it's a very important topic, and it is a very important discussion that we should not just taken for granted. Okay? Now, in awarding custody or in resolving issues on custody, one thing that should bear in mind always is the best interest of the child, okay, which is the primary consideration you would have in resolving custody cases. Okay? In resolving custody conflicts, you always look into the best interest of the child. Okay? The Convention on the Rights of the Child provides that in all actions concerning children, whether undertaken by a public or a private social welfare institution, courts of law, administrative authorities, or legislative bodies, the best interest of the child shall be a primary consideration. So it is always the best interest of the child. You look into that one. Okay? When you have conferences, explain to the parents as to where will be the best interest of the child is secured. Okay? The principle of best interest of the child pervades Philippine cases involving not only custody, but adoption, guardianship, support, personal status, minors in conflicts with the law, okay, and child custody. In these cases, it has long been recognized that in choosing the parent to whom custody is given, the welfare of the minors should always be the paramount consideration. Okay? But sometimes I am very sad that there are a lot of people who equate best interest of the child into, well, kung kisa tong mas dato, kisa siya tong makahatag daw og best interest sa child. Well, that is wrong perception. Okay? It's not always material thing. You don't only look into material consideration, into the wealth or the social status of the parent. Okay? Considering that custody is encompassing, it involves the future of the child, then we should not talk only of wealth, but including the personal being of the child, whose parents could give him more time. Okay? Now, among the factors that we should look into are previous care and devotion shown by each parent, the religious background, moral uprightness, home environment, time availability, as well as the children's emotional and educational need. Okay, so dagat lang i-consider, dili lang ang kadato, dili lang asa ang gipuy-an, but it includes the moral uprightness, the home environment. Dato siya pero ang ilahang balay has he has with him his other family, which will hamper the growth of the child. So I think that's not the best interest. Okay? So if you want to have, I mean, if you have a dialogue on parents or on guardians about the custody of the minor, you should always take into consideration the best interest of the child. Okay? That was included in the decision of the Supreme Court in Gualberto versus Gualberto, GR number 154, June 28, 2005. Okay? Now, according to the Supreme Court, the right of custody accorded to parents spring from the exercise of parental authority. So ang right niya of custody over that child came out because of his parental authority. Okay, parental authority or patria potestas is the juridical institution whereby parents rightfully assume control and protection of their unemancipated children, katong wala pa nakaabot og 18 years of age, to the extent required by the latter's need. It is a mass of rights and obligation which the law grants to parents for the purpose of the children's physical preservation and development, as well as the cultivation of their intellect and the education of their heart and senses. As regards parental authority, there is no power but a task. Okay, so parental authority is not a power over the child but is a task. Okay, no complex rights but a sum of duties. Dili siya nga kanang daghan kay kag himuon, pero it's actually more of a sum of duties. Okay? No sovereignty but a secret trust for the welfare of the minor. Okay, so it is custody is given to the parents, okay, because by nature the law thinks that it's only the parents who could provide better future for their child. Okay? So mas malipay ang bata ko nasa ila. Now, with that, let's ask, what is parental authority? Okay. In one of the cases cited by the Supreme Court, citing the book of Tolentino, parental authority has been defined as the mass of rights and obligations which parents have in relation to the person and property of their children. This authority lasts until the children's majority age or emancipation. And even after this, under certain circumstances, parental authority is granted for the purpose of the children's physical preservation and development, the cultivation of their intellect, and the education of their heart and senses. So that is parental authority. It's a mass of rights and obligation. Okay? So dili siya simpleng obligation lang. Okay? And your authority over your child will last from the time they were born until they reach emancipation. Okay? In fact, in few cases, there were cases wherein the child has not, even the child has already reached the emancipation or the majority age, they would still be under the care of their parents. Okay? Now, what then can we? What then are parental authority found in the family code? Okay, so who exercise parental authority over the child? So let's discuss first for legitimate child. Okay. By the way, this came from the EO 209 or the Family Code of the Philippines. Okay. So section 209, pursuant to the natural right and duty of parents over the person and property of their unemancipated children, parental authority and responsibility shall include the caring for and rearing them for civic consciousness and efficiency and the development of their moral, mental, physical character, and well-being. So the law acknowledges that naturally it is the duty of the parents to have parental authority over the person and his property, okay, for those unemancipated children. So naturally, parental authority should be given to them. Okay? Actually, wala man kaayo discussion, wala kaayo argument between other people. Most of the argument would come kung magbulag ang mga ginikanan o kakisa maadto. Okay? So well, is there a provision for that? Yes, we'll discuss it later. Now, always remember that both the father and mother exercise joint parental authority. Okay, so duha sila magbuot silang anak, duha sila maggiya sa iyang anak. Okay? But in cases of disagreement, it's the father's decision that shall prevail, unless there's a judicial order to the contrary. As you all know, our laws has been crafted long time ago, wherein the law, I should say, pas ginatanaw niya nga ang papa is haligi jud sa tahan. Okay? So in cases of argument, in cases of conflict between between what should the child do or not to do, if there's a conflict between the father and the mother, then it's always the father's decision that would prevail. Okay? Children shall always observe respect and reverence toward their parents and are obliged to obey them as long as the children are under parental authority. Tinod nang napakasa kong balay, tuman ako. Kaya naakas kong balay, ako'y masunod rin. hangtod wala pa ka ni hawa sa balay, ako pa'y matuman. Yes, that is true if the child is under emancipation pa. Okay? So, in other words, patong underage pa sila. So, it's the law acknowledge that is the father who could that the children should pay respect to their parents. Okay? So that is how we resolve issues. Okay? So, always remember, pag kasado si mama o si papa, father and mother shall jointly exercise parental authority. Both of them should decide for that. But as I've said, in case of disagreement, it should be the father's decision that shall prevail. Okay? Now, in case of absence or death of either parent, so namatay si mama or namatay si papa or nawala siya kay sumakabilang bahay, so who should exercise parental authority? The law says that either the parent, okay, in other words, the surviving spouse or the present parent should exercise parental authority over their children. Of course, di na pwede itong nawala na, di na pwede itong nilayas, hindi siya ka-exercise ng parental authority. It's only the present parent who should exercise parental authority. Okay? Now, suppose one of the party died, the mother died. Okay? So, the father is too young, remarries. Okay? Question. Can the maternal grandparent get the child? Or stated otherwise, did the remarriage of the father strip him of his parental authority over his child? The answer is no. The remarriage of the surviving parents shall not affect the parental authority over the children. Okay? Unless the court appoints another person to be the guardian. So kung walay court order, si surviving spouse ang exercise ng parental authority over them. Remember, parental authority is so encompassing. Dako siya. Dili lang siya sa pagdisiplina, it includes sa pag-eskwela, it includes the management of the property. Okay? Now, in case of separation, okay, so, mamatay sa other spouse, ibilin. Mulaya sa other spouse, ibilin ka. Now, mawala. But in case they will be separated, okay, bulag. Who should exercise parental authority? Okay, parental authority shall be exercised by the parent designated by the court. Okay? So, magbulag sila, ang court na mag-decide. That is why there is custody cases. Okay? Now, but how will the court decide? Again, let's go back to what we have a while ago. That the court shall take into account all relevant consideration, especially the choice of the child over 7 years of age, unless the parent chosen is unfit. In other words, here, the court is giving leeway to the child if he's over 7 years of age to make a decision. Asa man ka mo adto, ikaw mag-decide. Okay? But is that decision by the child final? Say for example, if the child choose his father, will the judge automatically award that one to his father? The answer is no. Okay, as I have said, we should always look into the paramount consideration of the child. Okay? Kinsa man to mas makahatag og brighter future sa child. So magud kaya pud titanawon sa korte. Okay? But again, I will reiterate, poverty is not a hindrance in custody cases. Okay? So, kung magbulag mo, gusto nimo kwaon, you file a custody case. Because if the child is already 7 years of age above, then he will be asked by the court to choose between what party he will go with. Right? But remember, there is a tender age presumption. What's a tender age presumption, sir? That no child under 7 years of age shall be separated from the mother unless the court find compelling reason or order otherwise. So, kung dili siya pugan sa court, if that is 7 years of age below 7 years of age. Okay, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, the parental custody shall always be to the mother, unless the court find a reason para dili i-award sa iya ang okay? Civil Code of the Philippines, you can find out there, Article 363, in all questions on care, custody, education, and property of children, the latter's welfare shall be the paramount consideration. Okay? No mother shall be separated from her child under 7 years of age unless the court finds compelling reasons for such measures. In other words, the court or the law always look into the fact that it's if the child is under 7 years of age, then it is always more often than not, it's the mother who should be given priority for the custody. Okay? Okay, what is the reason of our Supreme Court? What's the reason of the law here? Okay? The general rule that that the child should be at her mother when he is under 7 years of age is that in order to avoid many tragedy where a mother has seen her baby torn away from her. No man can sound the deep sorrows of a mother who is deprived of her child of tender age. The exception allowed by the rule has to be for compelling reasons only. For the good of the child, those cases must indeed be rare if the mother's heart is not to be unduly hurt. In other words, the Supreme, the law acknowledge nga sakit kaayo for a mother to be separated from her child who is under tender years, under 7 years of age. Okay? So the only thing wherein you can separate that child from her mother is if there is compelling reasons. Okay? So while the bonds between a mother and a child are special in nature, either parent, whether father or mother, is bound to suffer agony and pain if deprived of custody. So dapat dili pug kaayo mag-suffer si father. Okay? So one cannot say that his or her suffering is greater than that of the other parent. Okay? It is not so much of the suffering, pride, and other feelings of either parent, but the welfare of the child which is the paramount consideration. So again, the law look into the fact that the child under 7 years of age will still be best if she is or he is with his mother. Right? Now, what are the compelling reasons the law is referring to? So, unsa man na siya ang thing gina-consider sa balaod nga para tanggalon lang sa mother ang iyahang anak, okay, if that is under 7 years of age. In the case of Perez versus CA, the Supreme Court summarized the instances or gave example of the instances where it is a compelling reason that the mother is not suited to have custody of his child. Okay, first is neglect. Okay, abandonment, unemployment and immorality, okay, habitual drunkenness, drug addiction, maltreatment of the child, insanity, and affliction with communicable diseases. These are the examples wherein the Supreme Court deemed to it that the child will be best if not with his mother. Okay, so these are the examples. So alangan, neglected na gani siya, di na gani siya, ginapasagdan na gani siya, ihatag yapon nimo sa mama. Okay? Mother live in an immoral conduct. So it is not, it will not bring good or do good to the child if you leave him with his mother. who is doing immorality. Okay? If my memory serves me right, this is the case wherein the mother lived with another man who is not her husband, and the other man has his family. Okay, so the Supreme Court said it is not good for a child to grow up in that type of situation. Okay? So those are the compelling reasons you could consider. Now, if older than 7 years of age, a child is allowed to state his preference, but the court is not bound by that choice. As I have said, if that is more than 7 years of age, the law allows him to choose. But his choice is not automatic. Okay? Still, the court can exercise its discretion, to disregard the preference of the child should the parent chosen be found to be unfit. Okay? So the custody may be given to the other parent or even to a third person. So if the court sees to it that the child will be better off the other party, even if the child chose this person, then the child would be awarded to the party he did not choose. Okay? So again, the Supreme Court go back on the principle of the paramount consideration. The best interest of the child. Okay? Should be the paramount consideration. It's always the best interest of the child that needs to be considered. Now, in Article 214, in case of death, absence, or unsuitability of the parents, substitute parental authority shall be exercised by the surviving grandparent. Mamatay ang ginikanan, it's the grandparents that will exercise parental authority. In case several survive, so the one designated by the court, taking into account the same consideration mentioned in the preceding article, shall exercise the authority. Okay? So in case of death of both parents, it's the grandparents who will exercise parental authority. Okay? If there are conflicting parties, it's still the best interest of the child will be taken into consideration. Okay, Article 216, in default of parents or a judicially appointed guardian, the following person shall exercise substitute parental authority over the child in the order indicated. So kani siya sunod-sunod ni. Okay? Wala ang parents, it's the surviving grandparents. Wala yung surviving grandparents, it's the oldest brother or sister over 21 years of age unless unfit or disqualified. So in the event that the parents would be gone or would die, it's the surviving grandparents who would exercise parental authority. Kung wala, it's the oldest brother or sister over 21 years of age. Okay? Or if there is none, then the child's actual custodian over 21 years of age unless unfit or disqualified. Okay? Whenever the appointment of a judicial guardian over the property of the child becomes necessary, the same order of preference shall be observed. Okay? Now, how about for illegitimate child? So, we have already learned kapag legitimate child, both parents exercise parental authority. Kung mawala ang isa, then the surviving spouse. Kung under 7 siya, it should be the mother. Kung over 7, the choice of the child. But in all of those scenarios, it's always, again, the best interest of the child that should be taken into consideration. Okay? Taken into consideration. How about for illegitimate child? Okay. Legitimate children shall use the surname and shall be under the parental authority of their mother. It's explicit. Okay? It is stated by law. Article 176, if you are, in cases of illegitimate children, they will use the surname of their mother and they will be under their parental authority. Okay? But actually, under Article 9255, it states that illegitimate children may use the surname of their father if their filiation has been expressly recognized by their father through the record of birth appearing in the said civil registrar, or when an admission in a public document or private and written instrument is made by the father. So, mo ni siya ang i-consider. Okay? Now, but even though there was an instrument showing that he's the father still has the right to institute an action to prove non-filiation, okay, during his lifetime. Okay? The legitimate, but this is for illegitimate child, ha? For legitimate child, it's different. Okay? The legitimate of each illegitimate child shall consist one half the legitimate child. So, wala ni siya ang medyo nakapait. Okay? So, I know this is not custody case. This is for legitims already. Pero, daanan ko lang para magkaroon na kayo ng idea. Okay? It's always that the illegitimate child get less than that of the legitimate child. They would only get one half, okay, of what the legitimate child would get. Okay? So if you're a illegitimate child, you only carry the surname of your mother. Okay? But if you want to carry the surname of your father, you can have that one if you were born March of 2004 until present, you just execute a document that they call that one as AUSF. Okay? Affidavit to use the surname of the father. Okay? So, permahan na siya sa mama para makagamit ang bata sa apelido sa papa. But if you were born before that, say for example, 1988 until 2004, you need to file a court proceedings para makagamit ka sa apelido sa iyong papa. Okay? Because the law is expressed. Illegitimate children should use the surname of their father. Mother, I mean. Okay? But the good thing about that one is the mother will also have parental authority over the child. Okay? So, walay labot si papa. I mean, father should support, but on the exercise of parental authority, it's the mother. So, as I was saying, the parental authority of illegitimate children should always be to their mother. Okay? But again, this is not absolute. Okay? The court would still look into consideration, once again, the best interest of the child. Okay? Modyo na siya permintin yung guiding principle, the best interest of the child. Well, may laptop hangs. Okay. In recognition of an illegitimate child by the father could be a ground for ordering the latter to give support to but not custody of the child. Okay? The law explicitly confers the mother sole parental authority over an illegitimate child. Follows that only if she defaults can the father assume custody and authority over the minor. Of course, the putative father may adopt his own illegitimate child. In such a case, the child shall be considered a legitimate child of the adoptive parent. In other words, even if the father would recognize his child, okay, illegitimate child to that effect only, okay, it does not give him a blanket authority for custody of the child. In other words, absent any consideration, absent any problem, the child should go to his mother. Okay? So if you would notice, the only role of the father here is to give support. Of course, the law does not divest him of his right for visitation. But, again, being a illegitimate child, the custody should be with the mother. Okay? But to alleviate the status of a child from being an illegitimate to legitimate, actually, either parent, okay, so either the mother or the father could actually adopt the child. So if that is the case, then the custody should be transferred to the adoptive parent. An illegitimate child is under the sole parental authority of the mother. In the exercise of that authority, she is entitled to keep the child in her company. The court will not deprive her of custody absent an imperative cause showing her unfitness to exercise such authority and care. So if you would notice, the Supreme Court is very um, is so if you would notice, absent any unfitness to the father, to the mother, I mean, the court will not divest him of his custody, okay, as long as it's an illegitimate child. Because if you would notice, the law is precise that the father and mother does not share parental authority over a child in an illegitimate children. I mean, an illegitimate child, okay? So it's only the mother who exercises parental authority over her. Okay. As a general rule, the father and mother shall jointly exercise parental authority over the persons of their common children. However, insofar as illegitimate children are concerned, Article 176 of the Family Code states that legitimate children shall be under the parental authority of their mother. Okay? Accordingly, mother are entitled to the sole parental authority of their illegitimate children, notwithstanding the father's recognition of the child. In the exercise of that authority, mothers are consequently entitled to keep their legitimate children in their company, and the court will not deprive them of custody absent any imperative cause showing mother's unfitness. Okay, so the father needs to show proof that the mother is unfit before he could be divested of his custody or parental authority. Okay? In the event that the mother is found unfit or unsuitable to care for the child, again, dili gihapon siya automatic sa papa. Okay? Article 214 of the Family Code mandates the substitute parental authority shall be exercised by the surviving grandparent. Wala si mama, it's the surviving grandparent. Still, we follow Article 214. Okay? So, illegitimate child, mother. Kung si mother mo abroad, it's the maternal grandparent, not automatic kay papa. Okay? Again, the paramount consideration to be looked in is to the best interest of the child. Now, sir, what if 10 years old na siya? Can he choose if he's an illegitimate child, I mean? The answer is no. The choice of a child over 7 years of age under Article 213 of the Family Code and over 10 years of age under Rule 99 of the Rules of Court shall be considered in custody disputes only between married parents. Okay? So the provision wherein the child can choose as to whose parent he will go is only applicable for married parents. In case of an unmarried parent, this choice is not available. Okay, so the illegitimate child could not choose between his mother and father. The law expressly award the custody to his mother, okay, for an illegitimate child. So remember that ha, dili nang papilion ng bata pag illegitimate child, dili na siya applicable. Okay? So again, when a parent entrusts the custody of a minor to another, such as a friend or godfather, even in a document, what is given is merely temporary custody. Okay? So we could not actually waive custody. We could not actually waive parental authority. Parental authority is personal. So maski pag musulat ang mama nga ako ang ihatag ang pag-alaga sa akong anak kay sa iyang papa. Okay? Now, even in a document, what is only given is merely temporary custody. Okay? It does not constitute a renunciation of parental authority. even if there is a definite renunciation, okay, the law still disallows the same. Dili ikaw ang magbuot nga you renounce it by your self, okay? The father and mother, being the natural guardian of an emancipated children, are duty bound and entitled to keep them in their custody and company. Maski pag masulat. But again, the law disallows that one. Okay, nagsabot ta sa barangay, dili ta kasado, nagsabot ta, ikaw papa, imuhasan ng bata. That is just temporary. If the mother will still get that one on a custody case, again, the law will favor him. Okay? But again, balik gapon ako, it is what is being considered is the best interest of the child. Okay? Therefore, the law allows a waiver of parental authority only in cases of adoption, guardianship, and surrender to a children's home or an orphan institution, but not in parental authority. Okay? So I just want to leave you before that one. Let's look into AM number. I forgot the AM, but it's rule on custody of minors and writ of habeas corpus in cases in relation to custody of minors. Okay, in awarding the custody, the court shall consider the best interest of the minor and shall give paramount consideration to his material and moral welfare. The best interest of the minor refer to the totality of the circumstances and condition as are most congenial to the survival, protection, and feeling of security of the minor, encouraging to his physical, psychological, and emotional development. Okay, the court shall consider the following: any extrajudicial agreement which the parties may have bound themselves to comply with, respecting the rights of the minor to maintain direct contact with the non-custodial parent, the desire and ability of one parent to foster an open and loving relationship between the minor and other parent, the health, safety, and welfare of the minor, any history of child or spousal abuse by the person seeking custody, the nature and frequency of contact with both parents, habitual use of alcohol, dangerous drugs, or regulated substance, marital misconduct, the most suitable physical, emotional, spiritual, psychological, and educational environment, the preference of the minor over 7 years of age and of sufficient discernment unless the parent chosen is unfit. So, muna i-consider sa court. Okay. Before I end up this one, let me end this one with this passage, with this phrase. When love is lost between spouses and the marriage inevitably result in separation, the bitterest tussle is often over the custody of their children. Sagaran, pag magbulag na, mag-away na jud sa custody sa minor. Kinsay maapektuhan? Ang minor itself. So I hope you would take that one into consideration in mediating parents. Okay? So that ends up my discussion, and I want to say thank you for allowing me to share my little knowledge on custody. Should you have questions, should you have some clarification, you are should you have some problem, you are free to contact our office, or you can ask advice from any of us lawyer there. We are free of charge. Of course, we are in the public attorney's office. We don't accept any payment. Okay, so you can contact us through numbers 299-3778, or we have our direct cell phone hotline 0912. Not 0921. 0921 900 8388. Again, that will be all for this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Alright, dagang salamat kaayo to Attorney Roger Nocom. No, he's a Public Attorney 3 and the current OIC of Davao City District Office of the Public Attorneys Office Region 11. So dagan kay salamat sir no sa pagpalawig no to sa pagkuan going into details gyud kabahin sa topic nga child custody. So siksik gyud kaayo atong hapon no sa atong una ganihang RP no si Miss V no kabahin sa kaning mental health no and the services offered by DOH, particularly ang ilahang facility for mental health. no, and kumbaga nakalibre gyud ta nga session, no, na therapy session, na family development session sa iyaha. And of course kay Attorney Roger no kumpud no kay kabahin aning child custody. So sa ato mga viewers nga adunay mga questions or clarifications kabahin aning child custody, no, na naay mga ginasinati na ani na mga sitwasyon, no. So kumbaga it's really nice no nga aduna gyud tay mga tao na willing motubag sa ato og moserbisyo sa ato ang libre. So once again no kaning ato ang Public Attorney's Office sa mga gusto pod mo tungha no sa ilahang tanggapan or sa ilang opisina. Located kini sa near Ecoland Terminal dinhi sa Davao City. So in front lang na siya sa Ecoland Overland Terminal. Ayan, kanang bus terminal dira sa may south na part ni Davao City. So gusto lang po nato i-present no ang ato ang Certificate of Appreciation kay Attorney Roger Nocom. Ayan, so mas wala si attorney, no, we will present this one. Our Certificate of Appreciation is given to Attorney Roger Nocom in grateful recognition of his contribution as resource speaker during the conduct of the Talakayan sa Onse in celebration of the International Day of Families on May 27, 2022, held via Zoom platform. Given this 27th day of May 2022 at DSWD Field Office 11, Davao City, signed by the Regional Director, Attorney Vanessa B. Gokong. Ayan. So, of course, no? So, nahuman na yun ang ato ang pag-interview, no? Ato ang paghisgot sa atong duha ka mga panaghisgutan karong hapuna, no, which is about mental health and child custody. So karon gusto nato pasalamatan ng atong mga banggitan na mga viewers sa Facebook, of course, no, ang ating mga viewers from Davao do Oro, from Davao Occidental, from Davao City, even from outside of Davao region. So maayong hapon sa inyong tanan and daghan kaayong salamat sa paglantaw ug pagsuporta sa ato ang programa. Of course, no, ato apod pasalamatan, no, ang ato ang Regional Director Attorney Vanessa B. Gokong, ato ang Assistant Regional Director for Operations Mr. Ronald Ryan Cui, ato ang Assistant Regional Director for Administration Ms. Merlinda Neng Paragamak. Dagan kayong salamat sa atong mga bossing, no, atong mga from the Management Committee, our division chiefs, our unit heads, our section heads, ato ang of course no atong because this isn't just a social marketing unit, no, but of course in collaboration pud ni siya sa ato ang CBSS, no, or kaning ato ang community based services section, no. Si Sir Fritz, dagan kaayong salamat sa ila pog section head, no, kay Ma'am Dali, of course the Protective Services Division Chief Miss Gemma de la Cruz, dagan kaayong salamat. Ayan. So dagan kay salamat po, no, sa ato ang mga kaubanan po diri sa DSWD na namitabang, no, na mahimong posible ni atong programa. So that would be it. That would be it for this afternoon. Dagan kayong salamat, no, medyo taas-taas ato ang programa karon, but we hope na daghan tag natun-an, daghan tag na pamalandungan, and we look forward po ta sa ato ang mga musunuray pa nga mga episodes. So karon, no, kay International Day of Families man, so gusto lang nako ibilin, no, kaning kumbaga kaning ako ang message sa ato ang mga Filipino families, no, na mas mahimo tang kaning strong nung ato ang ties, no. We should give importance to family time, no, bawasan nato ang paggamit sa ato mga gadgets, no, at ato agyud i-treasure ang every moment, no, kauban nato atong mga pamilya. So once again, this is Luis John Lasida of the Social Marketing Unit. Gusto na mo i-greet og maayong hapon and daghang salamat. And lastly, God bless.